They've been together for more than 8 years. More than 5 years ago, they purchased a 1929 Ford Model A Special Coupe, and in September 2021, they got married. Debbie Deziel and Guy Livolsi of Litchfield, Connecticut, are both lifelong car lovers. Her first car was a 1969 Ford Mustang. His was a 1957 Ford.
When I was a little girl, my dad owned a transmission business in Waterbury and would take the family to car shows, and I fell in love with old vehicles at that point.
I probably have owned at least 150 cars to date. Some of them never ran. Some of them were parts cars. Some of them were aspirations of restorations that never happened. Some have been restored and driven.
While the Model A is listed in Deziel's name, it was Livolsi who learned of its existence while sitting in a hockey locker room.
And the guy sitting next to me just happened to say, geez, my wife's aunt just died and they have some sort of old Ford in their garage. One thing led to another, and we ended up going down to New Jersey and purchasing the car.
We purchased the car, and then we hired a tow truck in Connecticut to go down to New Jersey to pick up the car. And Guy was working, so I had to go down with the flatbed and a compressor in hand to blow up the rotted tires so we could roll it onto the flatbed.
Ford built the Model A for 4 years. It was the successor to the Model T and lasted for the model years 1928 through 1931. More than 4 million were sold. The Model A had a $500 base price in 1929, and the Special Coupe was a limited edition that featured an artificial leather top. While the engine on the Model A had to be rebuilt when they got it, it was
actually pretty good shape because it was a great restoration in 1968.
It has a 4-cylinder engine with stick shift and is capable of cruising along at 45 to 50 miles an hour.
I love driving it. I drive it to church, I drive it to the grocery store, any chance I get to drive it, I enjoy it.
The Model A got used for their wedding.
She ran a little rough. It was nighttime and we had the lights on, and for some reason when the lights are on, the motor's running a little bit rough, so we'll have to have someone look at the electrical system in the car, because as soon as we turn off the headlights, she purrs. So we made it home slowly. We limped her home, but made it.
The next morning, they headed out on a brief overnight honeymoon in Massachusetts, but not before stopping by a hardware store to replace a bolt that went missing from the trunk rack. The date was 9/11, a sad day in U.S. history, and they ran into a woman who perked up upon seeing the Model A. She asked if she could take a picture.
And then she looked at us and said, thank you, we really needed this. And I think that's one of the reasons I love driving the car, is because it evokes such happiness.
It may be 95 years old, but the Model A still runs smoothly.
And what's the worst thing that can happen? If she breaks down, you just call the tow truck. Maybe it wasn't like that back in the day. You really had to know how to fix the motor yourself.
And Deziel is fortunate.
I have a cute mechanic here to help me out.
That's right, Connecticut. I'm Bud Wilkinson, and if you get the chance, please subscribe to our YouTube channel.